PCE always participate in that. And we had that in August. And what's amazing is by end of August, in the long weekend, we gathered a few core families of the volunteers. We went to Pennsylvania, stayed there for 3 days. I went really deep on the family of origin. And every family just feels so bonded. So we definitely want to welcome more people to volunteer with us. So not only you learn some skills and methodologies and you brainstorm a lot of ideas, but also there's a chance you can process yourself and really focus on self-development and then present to your kids a better parent, right? And in September, we invited a professor from Carnegie Mellon to give a talk on how to train kids' thinking capability. It's so well participated, and I have a picture on that. And in August, we did a time management, and now we have the annual conference. We have our 6 local experts join us. So if you really look at that, 12 events among the few complete volunteers. Later on, once I pass the mic to the next president of 2020, and she will recognize the sponsors. You might find out the volunteers are sponsors. They are just like one-to-one matching. So it's not that the volunteers have a lot of time or money or energy to donate, but I think they all, just like me, they all feel they gain more in this forum than they contribute. So the donation from so many volunteers is just a gesture of paying forward. So I would like to ask everyone who feel you gain a lot of things here, come to join us as a member or can become our sponsor. And we have monthly events pretty much like this throughout the year. And you're welcome to join for any session you feel more interested. And every time we have the events, we announce that in our WeChat group. You can join the group. And also we announce that in a few local Chinese newspapers. And all of that, I was thinking to put names down to each event, like who did what. I just couldn't, because then the page could be all filled, because for every event, there's so many people working. So I think now we can just start our panel discussion. And we are so fortunate we invited 6 local experts to be with us. So I'll welcome them to the stage, and you guys remember to give them a round of applause, right? So we have 2 public educators, and Dr. Scott Taylor and Mr. Kevin Baus. I'll just call them by the first name. You guys want to sit here? They represent our strong public education. And then we have 2 private school founders and principals, Dr. Susan Shelby and Dr. Jerry Clark. Right. And can you 2 sit in the middle? Kind of, I set them into different tables representing different school of thought. And then we have our...
这个是不是？这边都是上面的人。
Where did that come from? And then we have 2 local young moms who are also professionals. One has a profession in education, and one has a profession in medical field for mental health, right? A psychiatrist. So let's welcome Ying Wang and Hui Shi Hui. So that's Kevin, Scott, Jerry, Susan. Maybe you can leave that for me, Hui, right? Then myself, and then Hui and Ying. So that will be us, right? So each table will give them a microphone. So welcome our panelists. And so to start, there's a flyer, right, if you want to know more about their bios, right? And to start, I will ask all of you to answer one question. Just be very brief, right? It's like, what do you think is the success of education? Like when a child walks into their school and a few years later, they walk out, right? And you look at the child and say, oh yeah, you know what? Good job, you know? So how about from Kevin? So everyone.
All right, so what do I consider? So I'm the principal of High Technology High School, and we're a thematic school where we focus on STEM, engineering, computer science. So for me, our goal is to prepare students to go to the best universities and major in the STEM field. So for me, success at High Tech is that my students, A, can get into those schools, and then B, perform well at those schools. We don't just want them to get in, we want them to be successful at those schools. And success not only means academically, but also emotionally. We hope that also that they're involved in extracurricular clubs and activities. So that's what I want to look for. I want to see a student go into one of the top STEM schools. And I don't only mean the 10 schools, you know, the 8 Ivies and MIT and Stanford. I say top schools, top 50, let's say, right? And I want them to be able to perform well and be well adjusted. So that's what I'm looking for at High Tech.
Hello everybody, I'm Scott Taylor. I'm the superintendent in Highland Park. Highland Park is a college town just outside of Rutgers. And we are a high achieving school district and do send our share of students to top tier college and universities. However, my specialty, if I have one, is mental health and students' mental health in particular. I work around the country with Maurice Elias, school psychologist at Rutgers, talking about social emotional wellness to improve mental health. So when I am, and by the way, my office is based in an elementary school. So when I walk outside my office and I see young children skipping down the hall or laughing with each other, I call them out. I applaud them. I say, oh yeah, this is great, you're having fun, aren't you? And I sometimes skip with them. The pat on the back comes when I see my kids happy. Look, the majority of the children who I serve are going to work hard. Many of them have strong supports at home. So what I worry about more so than anything else is how they feel up here. And when I see them smiling and skipping and laughing and having fun, I know they're also enjoying learning. And that to me has to come from the heart, not so much from the head.
So not only say the success, but also you're afraid of the failure or if they become a very unhappy person. So I talked with all of you beforehand, right? I think to be straightforward, I think going to a good college is still a very important measure to most of the public school principals, superintendent, as well as the parents. Let's just be honest with that, right? We want them to do well, but also we want them to be happy. But we do want them to do well, to go to so-called good colleges, right? Go ahead.
Well, I agree with the happy part big time. Hi, I'm Jerry Quirk. I'm the founder of 3 Sudbury schools. I also have a card out there linked to the website, The Shift Solution. And the reason I do is that's the philosophical base of a lot of the work that I do, because I am non-traditional. I will, except for the happy part, I'll probably disagree with a lot of what's said up here. Because as a psychotherapist, I spent many years working with successful people who went to the right colleges and they weren't happy. And so while their lives looked great and they were putting on a face that said things were going beautifully in their lives, they really weren't, because they had never learned to follow the inner guidance that children come with naturally, that is the joy of life. And so that is, for me, the first most important thing I look for to support that in any school. And secondly, I agree with a very famous educator who once said, the sign of an excellent education is an open mind.